during the dating process, a lot of women don't like to ask questions because they want to feel like they're okay with everything. And whatever you do, and it's all right, it don't make no difference as long as when you're with me, you treat me well, da-da-da-da. And I think that might have been a little problematic for my marriage.
Joe, when MC Lyte divorced her ex-husband, John Wyke, people couldn't stop whispering. Some even joked that the marriage lasted longer than they expected, because whenever you saw their photos, it looked like neither of them was truly invested in the relationship. Their smiles seemed forced, their body language stiff, and fans picked up on it immediately. Allegedly, the whole marriage might have been nothing more than a double life. A lot of folks were shocked that Lyte even walked down the aisle with a man, since her love life has always been wrapped in mystery. People have long speculated about her sexuality, and some claim that was the real reason the relationship crumbled so quickly. But then again, the streets were also buzzing with rumors that John was the one who couldn't stay loyal, that he was out here stepping out behind Lyte's back. So which is it? Was it heartbreak, hidden truths, or straight up infidelity that brought the marriage to an end? For those who don't know, MC Lyte and John met on Match.com of all places, and in August 2017, they tied the knot in Jamaica in a lavish Montego Bay wedding. It was supposed to be a fairy tale, but just 3 years later, in 2020, Lyte filed for divorce, citing irreconcilable differences. And here's the kicker: even though the marriage legally lasted 3 years, insiders say they had already separated within 5 months.
I think in the very beginning, I was very distraught, you know. I feel like there are phases whenever a relationship is ending, whether you're married or not. So it's that first phase, like, oh my God, I gotta make this work for us. Then it's like, oh my God, I gotta make it work for everybody else involved, the family, you know, if there are children, people who flew all the way to wherever to see you all get married. And then you get to a point where, like, you know what, this ain't working, it doesn't matter. And what really matters is that we both end up in a happy place.
She also explained that when the press caught wind of the story,
5 months into the honeymoon phase, and they were already living apart, that says a lot. Lyte eventually opened up about the painful split, admitting it shook her to the core. She confessed that at first she was completely devastated, fighting tooth and nail to save the marriage. She said the hardest part wasn't just the personal heartbreak, but the pressure to keep it together for everyone else. The family, the fans, and the friends who had flown out to Jamaica for that picture-perfect wedding. It was like she didn't want to let them down, even though her own heart was breaking. But in the end, she had to face reality. Lyte admitted that sometimes holding on has more to do with ego than with real love, and that true strength isn't in forcing a broken marriage to work, but in letting go and finding peace apart. She also revealed something wild, that the divorce dragged out for 3 long years because John reportedly refused to sign the papers. Imagine being mentally checked out of a marriage, but still stuck in legal limbo because your partner won't let go. Lyte made it clear that her failed marriage didn't make her a failure. She came to realize that happiness doesn't always mean staying together, and that walking away was her path to freedom. Still, the whispers around what really caused that split continue to follow her, and people can't stop asking if there was more to the story than what Lyte chose to share. Even though MC Lyte kept her divorce fairly private, the streets were buzzing with whispers that her ex-husband John was living a whole double life. Rumors swirled that not only was he cheating on her, but that he was also plotting to get his hands on her fortune. Fans started speculating that the man she trusted at the altar might have been lining up to swindle her out of her hard-earned coins. And that gossip spread like wildfire online. The timing of it all made the chatter even louder. When Lyte filed for divorce in 2020, social media went crazy with claims that John was gearing up to strip her down financially. Some blogs painted him as a slick schemer, while others accused him of using Lyte's fame as a stepping stone. But here's the twist: Lyte never let those stories slide without a response. She didn't dive into every messy detail about why the marriage ended, but she made it crystal clear John was not out to rob her blind. In a 2023 Instagram post, she broke her silence and set the record straight. She wrote that her divorce was not a battle and that her ex never once tried to take her assets. And she doubled down on that same point during her candid sit-down with The Breakfast Club. Lyte reminded everyone that she'd worked hard for everything she owned. She explained that the bulk of her money didn't even come from record sales. It came from touring, grinding on the road, and putting in the work. She told a story that really hit home. Lyte said, "When I started touring is when I started making money, and then I got a house." And then without budgeting or anything, by the time I furnished the house, I had nothing to cover my windows with. So I had to put sheets up in the window and have my manager stop by and be okay with that scene.
Did you get any money from, because you sold millions of records, did you get any of that publishing royalties, anything back then?
Slightly, but nothing like, you know, I should have, yeah. I mean, this is a treacherous game. And what's interesting is on the internet now is like every nook and cranny you can see truth being told, which is...
Really? Truth?
Well, yeah. You got some people that are just like, look, this is how the record deal works.
Oh, got you.
You know, which I think is really admirable of those people to kind of speak their truth.
Can you imagine a hip-hop legend with million-selling records still covering her windows with bed sheets because the money wasn't adding up? She explained that it wasn't until she hit the road again that she could even finish furnishing her house, and with that she dropped some knowledge warning younger artists about the ups and downs of the business. She stressed that there's so much money to be made in music, but you have to be smart with it because the industry has major highs and devastating lows. And she didn't shy away from admitting the truth. Despite selling over 1 million records, she never got the kind of publishing royalties she deserved. But here's where Lyte proved she was no rookie. She had protected herself. She revealed that she kept her full music catalog, all her royalties, and every bit of her personal assets thanks to a solid prenuptial agreement. That prenup was her saving grace, and it made sure that no matter what happened in her marriage, her legacy and her money stayed in her hands. Lyte even clarified the rumors directly. When the whole divorce thing happened, I just saw all of this stuff that says he was trying to get this or she got to keep. It's not that she got to keep. He was never trying to do that. We had a prenup. He's got his own stuff that I'm sure he was happy that I didn't want any part of. So despite the scandalous whispers, she swore that John never tried to touch her bag. MC Lyte admitted that she and John made an agreement very early on. A prenup was a must, no questions asked. She explained that the gossip around her divorce didn't shock her because people will twist anything for a headline and a quick click. Still, she said she was relieved to finally set the record straight about what really went down. But even with her explanation, folks kept pushing the same storyline, that John was living a double life and sneaking around on Lyte. At the same time, a different rumor started gaining more traction that people weren't shocked the marriage ended. They were shocked she even married a man to begin with. For years, whispers have followed Lyte, suggesting that she's bisexual at best, and some voices online swear that her marriage was just a cover-up. What really fueled that fire were the never-ending rumors about her and Queen Latifah being more than just friends. Now here's where it gets interesting. Lyte and Latifah have always been tight, like family tight. Lyte herself has said their bond was built on complete transparency and trust. She once explained that they could talk about absolutely anything without worrying about misunderstandings. Lyte even described Latifah as her sister, her queen, and credited her with completely changing the game for female MCs. According to Lyte, Queen Latifah didn't just make space for women in hip-hop, she transformed the way the entire industry looked at them as businesswomen with power and influence. In an Essence interview, Lyte reflected on how their connection started in the early days of their careers, and her words made it sound like more than just casual friendship. She said, "Right from the start, we were inseparable. She had this vibrancy artistically. Latifah was free. So much of that is because of her mother. Her mother gave her wings to fly. That closeness only fuels speculation that something deeper might have been going on behind closed doors. And let's not forget, Latifah herself has always had her own storm of rumors surrounding her sexuality. In the 1996 cult classic Set It Off, she delivered a jaw-dropping performance as Cleo, a tough, openly lesbian bank robber. The role felt so natural, so powerful, and so convincing that it sparked endless conversations about whether Latifah was simply acting or showing her real self on screen. Audiences couldn't separate the character from the actress, and that film only added more heat to the whispers that she might be into women. But here's the kicker. At that time in her career, Queen Latifah refused to address those rumors. She played it cool, staying silent, which only added fuel to the fire. And with her silence, the speculation about her and MC Lyte's bond grew even louder. Were they just sisters in hip-hop, or was there something more personal and intimate at play? To this day, people can't stop connecting the dots. Both MC Lyte and Queen Latifah have been hit with those questions head on. In her 2024 sit-down with The Breakfast Club, Lyte finally opened up about their bond, explaining that their friendship has always been built on absolute transparency and trust. She said they go out of their way to take care of each other to avoid misunderstandings, and when it came to the burning question about whether they'd ever been romantically linked, Lyte didn't hesitate. She dismissed it flat out, saying, never was, right? Still, Lyte admitted that in her early years, the whispers about her sexuality did get under her skin. At first, she struggled with the labels that people kept trying to put on her, but with time, she learned to shrug it off, saying her attitude eventually became, okay, that's how you want to see me? Fine. But that's not all of who I am. She made it clear that nobody gets to box her in and nobody gets to define her life by their assumptions. Lyte explained that being young in the industry meant constantly being shoved into categories that weren't her truth. Labels, roles, stereotypes. People wanted to control her story before she even got to live it. And one of the biggest criticisms she faced was people doubting she could look the way she did, stylish, confident, powerful, and still actually be into men. She laughed at those assumptions, but also called them damaging, stressing that she considers herself far more traditional than anyone would guess. And when it came to marriage, Lyte revealed that her decision to walk down the aisle came from a genuine belief in love, partnership, and the sanctity of marriage itself. The way she described it made it clear that the end of her union wasn't just a failed relationship, it was a heartbreak that rocked her to the core. Behind the strong public image, she was still a woman searching for stability, connection, and a lasting bond. But of course, the rumor mill didn't stop at Queen Latifah. Another name has always floated around, Jada Pinkett Smith. Yes, that Jada. For years, some fans have whispered about an intimate connection between Lyte and Jada, pointing to their closeness in certain Hollywood circles. While there's never been proof, the speculation has always lingered. Personally, I can't confirm it, but let's just say the streets never let that rumor go quiet, and yet Lyte has moved forward with her love life in a very real way. In early 2023, she hard-launched her relationship with tech industry professional Aaron Johnson, showing the world that she was in love and happy. Insiders revealed that Lyte truly believes she attracted Aaron by becoming a better version of herself, saying he's a reflection of her growth. She admitted openly that she's in love, but she's not rushing toward wedding bells. Lyte has been upfront. Both she and Aaron have already been married and divorced, and they're not in any hurry to walk down that road again. For now, they're focused on love, not labels, and it seems to be working just fine. Even though MC Lyte said she's not sprinting back into marriage, she teased that it's definitely still on the table, just something she wants to approach at her own pace this time. And here's where things get real juicy. Fans who remember her 1993 hit Roughneck, where she rapped about loving hardcore street dudes, might be shocked, because Aaron Johnson is nothing like the bad boys she once praised. According to Lyte, her family was stunned when they met him. They described him as a ray of sunshine, the complete opposite of the edgy, rough around the edges type she used to be drawn to. Lyte even admitted she had to adjust to being with someone so different, but once she embraced it, she realized how much she loved the softer side of love. She said he makes her feel safe, at peace, and that everything feels right on the inside. And from the way insiders talk, that feeling is completely mutual. He adores her just as much. But now here's the twist. Fans started noticing something odd. In recent months, Lyte quietly deleted a lot of her photos with Johnson from her Instagram. And in today's world, that kind of digital cleanup always gets people talking. Did something go down behind the scenes? Are they still together? Or did things fall apart quietly without a big announcement? Nobody knows for sure, but the speculation is only getting louder. To make it even messier, some fans have spoken up online saying Lyte should just be true to herself once and for all. With all the past rumors about her marriage, her sexuality, and her friendships with women like Queen Latifah and Jada Pinkett Smith, people can't help but question whether she's hiding another side of her truth. Honestly, at this point, it's hard to tell who was really living the double life, Lyte, her ex-husband, or maybe both. But what do you think? Is MC Lyte just keeping her private life low-key this time, or is there more to the story that we're not seeing? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and tap the notification bell so you never miss the next deep dive. See you in the next one.